Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. Welcome to today's review of the Seiko SRPD 07J1. It's a Presage gem, but not as we know it. I have reviewed a number of Seiko Presage models on the channel over the past couple of years. I was lucky enough to get a loan of JP's OG 6R powered cocktail time. I then bought and sold an Espresso Martini cocktail time and an SRPD 43J1 of my own. This one looks nothing like any of the other models. Indeed, I don't think this looks like anything else I've reviewed on the channel to date. Tonneau tank case, leaf hands, Roman numerals, and one of those back to front Seiko straps. It also features sapphire crystal, so it's the first Seiko Presage model that I've looked at with that. Big shout out to subscriber and good friend of the channel, Adam over in Melbourne. Adam has loaned me a bunch of watches for review over the years. He got this one for himself in one of these kind of frequent flyer schemes at his work. I think he'd accrued enough points and redeemed it for a Seiko. But he has far too many watches for his own good, so he sent me this one for review. Enough waffle, Jody. Let's flip the camera and get on with just that. So, a bit of an oddity this one, and a bit of a rarity this one as well, to be honest. I've googled SRPD 07J1 a few times and not a lot comes up. List price for these is $625 US, but I can't honestly recommend anyone spending $625 on one of these. If you fish around, I spotted one in Australia for $475 Aussie, which is about 3 something USD. I think that is a better target price if you do want to put one of these rather unusual barrel-shaped Seikos on your wrist. So 37mm in diameter, but don't be put off. These wear very, very differently from your average circular watch. Only 12mm thick, 45mm lug to lug, so it is nice and compact, nice and comfortable. 20mm lug width, and on the supplied Seiko calfskin leather strap, which I must say is a cut above their usual stuff. This one weighs in at bang on 80 grams. All stainless steel construction, Seiko sign crown there, a mixture of brushed and high polished. There's a kind of stepped bezel and a nice fine brushing to that mid case. And like I said, sapphire crystal, one of the real bonuses that you get from this one. You really don't find sapphire on Seikos all that often, and certainly not on their Presage range. It is mildly curved, just a little bit of a curve. It looks like it's double domed as well, so you get a touch of distortion, but not too much. But really, this one is all about the dial. Seikos do dials better than anyone, I think, at this price. If you have seen some of the other cocktail times, you'll know what I mean. The level of intricacy and detail, some nice little touches throughout they do with these watches for this price is quite remarkable, and this one is no different. Really pronounced herringbone effect. You can see there, I'll pop in a few macro shots here as well. It is a little bit overpowering at times, and there is a mad amount of flecto coming off that sapphire crystal. You're not getting anti-reflective coating for your money here today. Just be thankful that it is indeed sapphire, but such a lot of texture. Really quite an interesting one here. Romans all the way around, so I think this is, to be honest, the first watch I've reviewed with Roman numerals. They're not really something that appeal to me particularly strongly, and not something that appears all that often at the sub $500 US mark. But there you go, always nice for a bit of a change. And a leaf handset with a very fine needle hand. No loom on this one, so there'll be no loom video today. Now there is a painted kind of minute track. There are dots all the way around the edge of the dial, as you can see there. Every fifth one is applied, so the hours are applied with little silver dots. All the rest are just painted on. Now the Seiko logo is applied as well. Presage automatic around that colour matched date wheel framed above the 6. But as you can see there, the date frame means they've sacrificed the Roman at the 6, and I don't think they've done a particularly good job of putting both of those elements on the dial at the same time. But apart from that, it's a pretty one. The leather strap is really quite pleasant. Calf leather, soft backing, Seiko stamped on the underside with a decent deployant, nice hardware. I guess for a $625 watch, if that is what they're trying to charge for this, then that's what you should expect. But screw on case back, no screw down crown, only water resistant here. Now that is splash only. You want to be trying to avoid water as far as possible with this one. I guess it's an office watch, a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday watch, or a dress wear, you're not really going to be taking this one to the beach and certainly not into the pool with you. So, sapphire on the front, Hardlex on the back. There is a 4R35B, as it says there, 23 dual, hacking and hand winding auto by Seiko. Not the prettiest movement in the world, but at least they've jazzed it up with a nice gold tone rotor here. Not the finest set of figures out of this one. The stated tolerances of this movement are -20 to +40 seconds per day variant, so this one +15 seconds a day, coming in somewhere towards the middle. You can always unscrew the case back and have a tweak around with this one if you're keen to get it closer to zero, but you do know with a Seiko 4R you're buying something reliable, you're buying something that's going to keep on ticking for a fair old number of years between services. And it wears really rather nicely. Like I said earlier on, don't be put off by that 37mm diameter dimension. It's hard to say, oh, it wears like a 40 or it wears like a 41, but it certainly wears like a bigger watch, but super, super comfortable. Really nice strap on this one, like I said earlier on, soft and compliant. Not quite sure why Seiko do this reverse thing. Maybe one of you can leave me a comment and let me know the logic behind that. I can't certainly see it. If I was keeping this one long term, the first thing I'd do would be to reverse the strap on it. But it's slim at only 12mm thick. There's no protrusion from the case back, so it sits nice and flat. You barely know it's on your wrist at all. And for what it is, it's fairly legible with those white leaf hands. I think they're a good size for the overall shape and size of the watch, and the white Roman numerals as well. It's pretty easy to tell the time on this one at a glance, assuming the lighting is right though. No anti-reflective coating on that sapphire crystal. The Flecto is strong with this one. Especially when you take it outside, the Flecto is a little bit mad here as well, when combined with that herringbone, rich textured pattern on the dial. There's certainly enough here to catch and play with the light. That's it on wrist again, only 80 grams, short lug to lug, slim profile, comfortable strap. This would be a really easy watch to wear on a daily basis for sure. Assuming that is that you're okay with a tonneau-shaped watch with Roman numerals and leaf hands and a back-to-front strap. These have been out, I think, for 2 years now. I think they came out at the beginning of 2019. Not that many reviews on YouTube. The fact that there aren't many listings on Amazon and eBay, etc. suggests that this hasn't exactly been a hit for Seiko. Definitely one of their more niche items. Tonneau watches though, very, very comfortable as discussed this one already. It really would be a watch that you could happily wear for 10 years to the office. That sapphire crystal is going to be as good looking in 10 years time as it is the day you bought the watch, which is not something you can say if there was a piece of mineral crystal on the dial. And that 4R movement, pretty basic. I've reviewed watches at $45 with those Seiko NH35s in the back of it, but it is going to be a reliable and faithful companion if this is going to be a long-term watch. And lovely texturing to that dial. It really is a dial that you can get lost in just kind of staring at it. It might have been nicer if those Roman numerals had been applied as well, but I guess there are budgetary considerations to everything. My biggest complaint I think about this watch is the date window. It really is rather clumsily punched down there at the 6 o'clock. I understand it's an unusual dial to integrate a date window, but I don't think they did a particularly good job cutting off the Roman numeral there at 6. I would rather have seen them delete that altogether or just do something a bit different to try and make it look more cohesive. But there you are, there is more to the Seiko Presage range than the cocktail times, as this oddity proves. So there you have it, the Seiko SRPD 07J1, like no other Seiko that I've reviewed on the channel to date. It wears very comfortably. That strap is a mile better than the super stiff ones on the OG cocktail times, that's for sure, though I'm still not quite sure why Seiko mount them backwards. Perhaps one of you could enlighten me with that, maybe I've just forgotten. I've got no problem with the 4R movement, especially if it's compensated for with sapphire crystal. That really is a bonus. But what were they thinking with that date window cutting off the Roman down there at 6? They should have gone with one or the other, not tried to do both. A bit of an oddity, but if that's your bag, definitely have a look for this one. Thanks for watching, I'll see you soon.